Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. A brand new video that comes to us after a Tuesday that almost felt like a Rangers Thursday. If you know, you freaking know. And based on everything that happened in that game, the emotion, the stress, the excitement in itself has really brought a new sense of, well, excitement, if you will, about the team regarding us this season. So now it's time to bottle all that and just chuck it at the St Johnstone players and hopefully day them the moral, ladies and gentlemen, as we're obviously here to talk about Rangers versus St Johnstone. I'd like to point out, for legal reasons, I'm not saying I want the players to bottle the St Johnstone players tomorrow. I'm just meaning go out there and absolutely hammer them and put the marker down that Ibrox is a fortress once again, and we can unleash when we're not playing with a handbrake on. That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do carry on with the rest of today's video, isn't it just the excitement of Tuesday and the next qualifier and everything like that? No, we also hit an incredible milestone that genuinely, I'll be honest, I've just been kind of floating around on cloud9 because it was a long journey, but our channel has finally reached the ultimate dream of 55 freaking K, and that's incredible in itself, ladies and gentlemen, and genuinely it has just made my entire week. Like, I've spent the last couple of days just with a massive smile on my face and that, because again, I know you only just want to get to the football, but I just need to mention it very, very briefly, and I'll try and keep it brief. But we've been doing this channel a long time now, me and we've been through some hard times. These channels that's all about the place now popping up every 2 seconds of it, have no idea what it was like for me and 5-6 years ago when we were getting battered for pillar to post, and honestly how tough that was mentally and everything like that, and being flung into the furnace, but we stuck at it. And I think because of the hardship and the times that we spent together is probably why we have the bond that we have now, that again, that we are just thriving right now. And again, that's a bond that can only be bonded through actual hardship, and we certainly had that in the channel over the years. And now we're at some places where we're getting to enjoy European nights and everything like that together, and hopefully there's a lot more good times to come. But I just wanted to shout out every single one. I greatly appreciate you taking your time out your every day or every second day now with the channel to spend it here talking about Rangers news. It's no lust on me that it's because of yous the channel is what it is, and I am forever thankful that you've given me this opportunity to sit here, do my terrible jokes and talk about the football, will you? But dare I say, ladies and gentlemen, despite the ultimate dream having been completed, now that we aren't finished just yet, me and we're not done. I'm not hanging up the cap and walking off in the sunset, and I don't imagine yous are going anywhere anytime soon. So let's keep it going now, and let's turn our attention to the next number on the horizon, and that is 56K. And how fitting is that our team and us are both pushing for a 56 of their own. That sounds like fate, ladies and gentlemen, and it's scary how close we are already. We're less than 850 towards 56K, so let's just keep the positive momentum rolling, troops, as we get into it. But I know you will be screaming it, and you probably have skipped me saying thanks and everything like that just to get to the video, but let's get to it now then, shall we? And let's talk about tomorrow's dance partner, which is of course St Johnstone, and we'll start off with the oppositional preview. And St Johnstone come into this game probably looking like the most St Johnstone thing you've ever seen, because if we take what they've done so far in the league and in the Scottish Cup group stage and everything like that, what they have now, they split everything down the middle. 3 losses, 3 wins, and some of the losses, man, they have been absolutely horrific. They got beat off Annan Athletic, they got some horrific results. Queen of the South beat them in that as well. But again, you can almost, I don't know, forgive that or excuse the Scottish Cup because, again, people were getting fit. But taking it into the Scottish League, or the Premier League, I should say, they've had 2 games so far. But again, they split that right down the middle. And it's a familiar theme with St Johnstone, where one of them, they were so poor versus Hibs. On opening day versus Hibernian, I looked at them and I seen how they were playing, and I went, oh yeah, I'm right for putting them down near the bottom for relegation in my league prediction video. They were horrific, ladies and gentlemen. They only had 1 shot in the entire game on target, and in the second half they ended up going down to 10 men, and then to be fair, they dug their heels in. I mean, they rolled their sleeves up and they played the way you're expecting them to play tomorrow, if we're honest. Very defensively, but they couldn't hold out as Hibs ended up scoring a 90th minute winner against them, which could have took the stuff out of them, if you will, because they hung on for pretty much the entire second half to the last kick of the ball. But it's got to be said, versus Motherwell, they did respond. Now again, I'm not going to sit here and say they played perfect or anything like that, or they were even great, but I did say respond because they showed what they are capable of, and that is scrapping with teams that are poor in this league and able to get the points. And what I found funny about actually watching this game and everything like that, well, a couple of things that I found funny is how it actually ended, because they started the game off fantastically well. Jamie Murphy scoring his first goal for St Johnstone, well taken goal as well, by the way, versus his former team. Hopefully he doesn't continue that tour at the weekend. But then it started petering away, and Motherwell ended up scoring a 91st minute equaliser. Well, I say Motherwell scored it. St Johnstone scored an own goal in the 91st minute to bring it back level, and you think to yourself, that's so St Johnstone. But almost directly from kickoff, St Johnstone ran up the park, put Stevie May through, who scored with the last true kick of the frickin' football in the 94th minute to win the actual game. That is 2 games played so far in the SPFL. 3 goals scored past 90 frickin' minutes. I know you didn't want to hear this, ladies and gentlemen, but there is some signs out there that there's going to be some late drama tomorrow. Let's just hope it's 5-0 at the time and we're adding a 6 and a 7, just like AZ Alkmaar versus Dundee United. That was a good game, that. I enjoyed that. It's terrible for Scottish football though, isn't it? Terrible. Terrible. But back to the actual game in hand then, shall we? St Johnstone, and if you're wondering about how they've lined up, because again, it wasn't too long ago that St Johnstone was one of those teams you looked at on the calendar thinking this is going to be a really, really tough game, but as quickly as they rose to that level, they have well and truly fell away, and they've lost some major pieces to their puzzle. That back line, which for me was fantastic with the McCarts and everything like that, and really driving them forward, has really fell away, and they look a shadow of themselves in my opinion. But they still line up in the same familiar way, the kind of 3-4-2-1 or the 3-4-3 on paper, but we all know what that's going to be. The back three, which will be 3 centre-halves, Andy Considine and Ryan McGowan's in there now, which is again distinctly different than what they had in terms of ball-playing defenders, quick enough to recover and anything like that. You kind of know what you're expecting tomorrow night, and for me, I'm not expecting any surprises for them or anything like that, but what I will say they have is something that has hurt us in the past, and that's someone to lead the line up front, whether it's May or Big Blair, which I imagine it will be Theo Blair starting off the game, the young Canadian. He showed some promise so far for St Johnstone, and if he continues, maybe finds his feet, he could be a player for them and be the difference for them. But the way that they're actually playing so far, and I think they'll play against us, is they'll be hitting the long balls to Blair, but where some teams leave themselves isolated and everything like that, and that causes some issues. What St Johnstone have been doing in the show versus Hibs, which again I imagine will be a similar game plan, was they have Jamie Murphy just hanging about, just like hoovering everything up that bounces off Blair. So there's a long ball up to Blair, and then Murphy's using all his experience to be in the right place at the right time, to whether it's win a cheap free kick, kill a wee bit of the clock, or eventually get a shot off. So imagine you'll be seeing that tomorrow. Long balls to Blair or Stevie May, and Jamie Murphy, the former Rangers man, hoovering up everything, trying to get his team forward. And that's all I've really got to say about St Johnstone. So we may just see the return at Ibrox of the big man, little man partnership. Unfortunately, it's not on the Rangers end, but still, I'll be there on the actual part. There's not too much I can actually break down because there is such a small sample size to look at St Johnstone. I think their squad is significantly weaker now than where they were even last year when I look at them, but still, I know for a fact that these players, and no matter how they're performing, always seem to find 15% whenever they come to Ibrox. So stubborn test. They showed that versus Hibs, even when they went down to 10 men, how difficult they can make it, how they flood. Again, it'll look like a 3-4-3 on paper and everything like that, but that is a 5-4-1 with Jamie Murphy hoovering up everything for Blair. That's what you're going to be seeing tomorrow, and that's all I've really got to say about St Johnstone. A stubborn test I'm expecting, but should we expect anything less. It's time to move on from them and get to the Rangers ending, shall we? And again, I'm feeling a lot more, I don't know about you, do you just not feel like there's a weight off your shoulders already regarding Rangers? Because that result, the first game versus Union, really put some warning signs in there. And you look at even the games before that and everything like that, there was a couple that just wasn't quite impressive. But I feel like that result there's just gelled everyone back in, because we can see now what these new players are adding to our team. And I just hope that again the penny has dropped for Giovanni, that Tillman is a centre attacking midfielder. Big man, please play the Americano Express right frickin' there, because honestly, this guy's had me singing the Hulk Hogan theme tune all week. And that's of course going to be my first main talking point in this. I think we've seen now what he can bring, and I would love to see us play that same aggressive way that we did versus Union in this game versus the Johnstone, because again, I'm waiting for the performance at home that just slaps teams, because we've not slapped a team in a long time, people. Like, genuinely slapped them. I miss the days when we were beating them 5-6-0 under Gerrard at home. Let's get back to the fortress, handbrake off and rip them to shreds. That we've got the players to go ahead and do it. And again, I'm not being disrespectful to the opposition, I'm just paying respect to our frickin' players. I'm not wanting to see free centre mids. I'm not wanting to see Mr. Tillman out in the wing. Let's put him in there. Again, no disrespect to my good pal Scotty Arfield or that, but Arfield and Glenn Kamara shouldn't be playing ahead of Tillman in that role. That should be the big American's dream. Love to know where you sit with that one. For me, this is the type of game that Arfield comes in and scores in, by the way. But again, I think we need to start playing to this lad's strengths, because he's already shown what he's capable of. And if we keep feeding him and getting him more confident, he could genuinely be the game changer that's been lacking last season in the games we threw away points. This kid just seems special to me. He genuinely does. And I would love to see him get 90 minutes in his best frickin' position. I'd love to know where you sit with that one. But aye, that's kind of what it's going to mostly be from the Rangers end, because there's no big injuries around for the first time this season. Touch wood, that continues to be true ahead of tomorrow's kickoff. It's mostly conversation points. So we talked about the centre attack mids, because we're kind of just talking about the spine today. That's what I'm going to kind of lean. So we've talked about the centre attack mid. I want to talk about the striker briefly, because I'm going to, if you're already annoyed at me for what I've said in today's video, you're going to be really annoyed at me right now, because I've seen your comments, I've seen your tweets. Alfredo's back now, start him versus St Johnstone, unleash the Buffalo, and I understand why, and you're probably right, that does make a complete amount of sense. But to me, I think it's Colaks' jersey to lose. Back-to-back goals scored. Did score versus Livingston if the linesman had his eyes shut, no like he was on the Pepsi Max scared to get his picture or anything like that. If he actually done his job, this big man would have scored nearly every game that he's played for us. And again, this is a new signing that's still adjusting and learning the patterns of play and getting up for it, yet he's still putting the input of scoring in every single... Imagine when he's had a good profile of games and he's actually in tune with everything and he's matching the runs and the balls and everything like that, what this guy could actually be for us. Do you know what I mean? And I just think from a mentality point of view as well, if we drop the laddie out or bomb him out the squad now for the return of Morelos, what's that saying? If you play well, you still not get to play. For me, the jersey's big Colaks to lose, and I'd love us to continue to do what we've done over the last couple of games. Give him the start, let's see what he can do, and then bring Morelos in and build the Buffalo back up, because again, 5 months is a very long time to be out of football, and I didn't want to rush Alfredo back, because I do think we're going to have a good year, I do think we're going to have a successful year, and I do think Morelos is going to play a major part in that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I'm getting older now, I'm just overly cautious with the big man, and aye, that's how I'd play it. I think it's Colaks' jersey to lose, so he would be starting for me. You can now shout me in the comments and tell me that it should be Alfredo. I understand, okay, but that's just how I feel. The last part of the spine that we need to talk about is the left centre back spot, because we've tried two players now. It's looked equally bad in parts. To be fair, Sands did have his moments defensively where I thought he was good versus Union, but again, you can see we're putting people out of position there in there. So for me, despite everything I've just said about Alfredo, and I'm going to sound hypocritical right here, but I do think it's time for Ben Davis to come in there, just so we can see what that's like, because there's no a better game to come into Ibrox for your first start versus a team that's St Johnstone. You're going to be dominant, you're going to be going after them, you only have one or two players to really watch. I would love to see Big Ben in there, a natural left-sided centre-back in amongst there, see what the partnership's like with Goldson. And again, I've watched a lot of Davis for the actual videos and for this channel and everything like that. He loves a moan, and that might be what we need on that left-hand side, because if a Barisic is playing, just to come back, son, now and again, you know what I mean? We might need someone that's very nippy and very moany and everything like that. So I would like to see Davis starting. That'd be my three players for this. It'd be Tillmans centre attack mid, Colaks up top, and Ben Davies at left centre back. Love to see what your thoughts and opinions are on that. You're probably shouting at me, I can kind of feel it, but that's all I've really got to say about the Rangers. And there's no too many Rangers injuries or that again to break down. It's only Hadji, long-term injury, Helander, long-term injury. Alex Lowry's made a successful scoring return to the Rangers B team, so it shouldn't be too long, hopefully, that we see the big man back amongst the first team, and that's where we remain. Kamal Roof, question mark, question mark, question mark. No too much information out there. Is he going to be leaving at the end of the window? I don't know, it kind of feels like it because it doesn't seem like a part of the plan right now. But whenever I hear any more on that, I will be, of course, updating you right here on the channel. And that's it. All we have to do now is discuss, or predict, sorry, the actual game. And I'm going high. I'm going high. Even though it's screaming late goal City here, and this could be a 1 or a 2-0, blah, blah, blah. Or probably a 1-0 then scoring in the last minute. I'm going to go Rangers 4, St Johnstone 0. Colak dirty double, Alfredo goal, and a goal from Tillman. I'm going for it, ladies and gentlemen, and that's all I've got to say. I've reached the end of the video. Again, thank you so much for 55k subscribers. It genuinely means so much to me that you are not only being here and joined the channel, but I recognise so many of the names in the comment section, you know what I mean? I genuinely feel like this is a real community that we have here, so thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully one day I'll get decent content and everything like that, but until then, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow after the game. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.